Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Ethan Drew. We'll be doing another reaction and analysis today. We'll be doing our first time reaction to Chase Holfelder. I don't know if that's exactly how you pronounce his name, but Chase Holfelder. He's known for making kitchen covers as well as major to minor versions of music, and I've been a fan of his for a long time. He does a really good job with his covers, and I'm excited to announce that I will be doing the... Why would I announce it? I'm excited to say that we're going to be reacting to his old kitchen cover of Believer by Imagine Dragons. This one is a classic, and I'm excited to break this one down for you. So with that said, I'm going to jump into the layout of the video, and then we'll get started. So the way these videos work on my channel is that I have two sections. The first section will be my genuine first time reaction, or just me listening through without stopping. It'll be a brief break, and then there will be a breakdown and an analysis portion where I break down what you're hearing in the music and what makes it so special. With that said, let's dive in. Alright folks, so we have arrived at the breakdown and analysis portion. No, we have not. Arrived at the reaction portion of the video where I react to the music and or listen to it all the way through without stopping. So we're going to jump into Chase Holfelder's cover of Imagine Dragons' Believer. And those that have heard this song already, it is a real treat. And those who have not heard it, it is a freaking awesome treat. He's very talented, and he did a good job with this. So we're going to jump in right about now. This is so genius.
First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. Oh, ooh, the way that things have been. Oh, ooh. Second thing, second, don't you tell me what you think that I could be. I'm the one at the sail, I'm the master of my sea. Oh, ooh, the master of my sea. Oh,
just great.
Broken from a young age, taking my soak into the masses, writing my poems for the few that looked at me, took to me, shook to me, feeling me, singing from heartache, from the pain, taking my message from the veins, speaking my lesson from the brain, seeing the beauty through the... Hey, you make me a believer, believer. Hey, you break me down and build me up, believer, believer.
It's the coolest thing ever, man. I'm telling you.
Third things third, send a prayer to the ones up above. All the hate that you've heard has turned your spirit to a dove. Oh, ooh, your spirit up above. Oh, ooh. I was choking in the crowd, living my brain up in the cloud, falling like ashes to the ground, hoping my feelings they would drown. But they never did, ever lived, ebbing and flowing, inhibited, limited, till it broke open and rained down. It rained down like... Hey, you make me a believer.
Hours and hours and hours went into this, guaranteed.
Hey, break me down and build me up, believer, believer. Pain, let the bullets fly, let them rain. My life, my love, my drive, it came from... Hey, you make me a believer, believer. Last things last, by the grace of the fire and the flames. You're the face of the future, the blood in my veins. Oh, ooh, the blood in my veins. Oh, ooh. But they never did, ever lived, ebbing and flowing, inhibited, limited, till it broke open and rained down. It rained down like... Hey, make me You make me a believer, believer. Hey, break me down and build me up, believer, believer. Pain, let the bullets fly, let them rain. My life, my love, my drive, it came from. Hey, you make me a believer, believer.
You can't beat music that's made with instruments that are not actually instruments. If that doesn't make sense, then I'll try to make it make sense as I'm breaking it down in just a minute. But he literally uses utensils from a kitchen to make this music. It is freaking insane how much talent it takes to be able to do that. It already takes talent to make music with instruments and your own voice. I love acapella because you're making music with the human body and the human voice. But this is just taking items that aren't musical items and making music out of them. Takes talent to do that, guys. I'm excited to break this down for you. So with that said, we're getting ready to jump into the breakdown and analysis portion, and I will see you over there in just a minute. All right, folks, so we have returned to the breakdown and analysis portion, and I'm going to break down what's going on in the music and likely what he was also doing in some of the mixing mastering process. In the mixing and mastering form or process. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm going to break down what you're hearing and some of the things that may have happened or taken place in the mixing mastering process. There we go. And we're going to jump right back in. So the stove and the door here are more of your snare and kick portions of the percussion. There's a lot of percussion in this, honestly. So the pantry door shutting is more of the lighter, punchier kick, and the stove door shutting is more of the slightly longer, more drawn out, more dramatic, more thunderous kick, if that makes sense. All right, so we talked about the two forms of the kicks in the door here, or the stove door and the pantry door. So now let's talk about the rest of the things he used to kind of build this beat. So he used these doors. He used the microwave for the bass drops, which was genius, by the way. And we're going to do this. We're going to size up the video. And he used a knife sharpener and a knife clink to make that sound. And that's also really genius. You would have to cut out a lot of the lower frequencies in the mixing process in order for that to sound good. Okay, there's a lot that happened in that little second to show you what he was using. So he used some claps, so that's not outside, that's not what you, I mean, that's not cheating because you're using your own body, you're singing in the kitchen, you're making music in the kitchen with kitchen utensils. And there's nothing that says you can't use your own body, so claps do belong, I think, in this, if it's going to be a kitchen cover. Uses running water for ambience, which is crazy cool. Tearing paper, which can also have a really good effect, as we've heard already. They literally have a teapot that's blowing off steam here. And they also have the a gas stove firing. All of this creates the percussion and most of the work in the music, albeit with some serious editing going on. But that right there is the majority of the music. Of course, you gotta have boom, 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 boom. You have to build that in the mixing software as you're editing the song. But in order to make that happen, you have to edit it somewhat. And he also has bottles here. Now, this is complicated. So, I don't know that much about like bottles and PVCs and such for music, but I do know that getting them to the right fill level in order for them to have the pitches you want is not exactly easy. And the fact that he got these pitched to the notes within the key of the original song, he probably spent an hour or two just doing that.
First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head.
I really, really like the choice of timbre here, Chase. The choice of a raspy, light timbre, or a light, raspy lead to begin the song, as compared to the original where it feels more like a belt, more like your traditional loud lead part. It's got a little bit of his own personal twist to it, in addition to the whole kitchen cover thing.
I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. Oh, ooh, the way that things have been. Oh, ooh. Second things.
So what's happening with the microwave is that it's slowly being pitched down in the editing. So a microwave will buzz as it's being used in most normal circumstances. It'll just sit there and buzz like most microwaves do. But in order to achieve the kind of sound that this microwave is producing in this song, you have to kind of bend the pitch down. And you have to do it at a certain spot within the recording of the microwave making the buzzing sound. But that's how he got the bass drop there. He went in with the actual sound and pitched it down. And what I mean by pitching it down is literally bending the sound downwards, like almost like if the sound was a straight line, you're bending the end of it down like a candy cane, if that makes sense.
Of the way that things have been. Oh, ooh, the way that things have been. Oh, ooh. Second things.
You see what I'm talking about?
Been. Oh, ooh. Second things.
So that's just a microwave buzzing, and he takes that and he bends it and makes it into a bass drop. It is crazy cool how you can do that. And it takes talent to be able to do that, because if you're someone who is into music hot and heavy and you have perfect pitch, you're going to be one of those people that realizes everything you do, every action you take, every noise you make every action you take that makes a noise, or any noise that's made, has a pitch to it. It has a certain tonality to it. So you could literally, you could take a spoon and clap it against a cup, and it has a pitch to it. Charlie Puth did a really good example of this on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. It was a perfect example of what perfect pitch does for you, and I imagine that Chase may have perfect pitch given the fact that he's able to do all this. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, those that know Chase better than I do.
Don't you tell me what you think that I could be. I'm the one at the sail, I'm the master of my sea. Oh, ooh, the master of my sea. Oh, ooh, I was broken from a young age.
And the paper tear here is also used to build a little bit more intensity on the snare side of the percussion. Listen. because you've got a bunch of claps. It looks like he's got 5 takes of claps going on, with the one in the middle being the one that's on every beat. And then there's 5 across the board for where the snare hit would be.
I was broken from a young age.
So when he's ripping that paper, it almost makes it sound like a true snare drum. And it's a genius way to make it feel like a snare drum.
Taking my soul into the masses, writing my poems for the few.
In addition to it making it sound like a snare drum, it makes it sound like multiple snare drums being hit at once. And it also makes it sound like multiple claps happening at once. Absolutely genius.
Ooh, that looked at me, took to me, shook to me, feeling me, singing from heartache, from the pain.
So if paper sounds like it's ripping, that loosely sounds like a snare, or a drawn out snare hit. And it also sounds like several claps all at once.
Taking my message
He's using his resources very wisely in this.
from the veins, speaking my lesson from the brain, seeing the beauty through the.
And the tape, that's a really good one. So he's creating like a bit of a drop feeling, kind of like he did with the microwave. But what's happening with the tape is that it's doing it at a much higher pitch range than what was taking place with the microwave.
Veins, speaking my lesson from the brain, seeing the beauty through the.
That's pretty much exactly what's happening here. In a way, if you were to beatbox this, it would literally be a... Or think of something that you would hear in a cartoon when a character really likes his food and he goes... Basically the same effect, but with tape. So the pitch bend with the microwave again.
You make me a believer.
I'm thinking as far as Chase's voice classification, he sounds to me like a higher sitting baritone or a lower tenor, because that was a very nicely belted, raspy belted C sharp D flat 5.
Hey, you break me down and build me up, believer.
And that is without a doubt in chest voice, because there's no airiness behind it, so that tells me there's no falsetto. And his timbre going into this is pretty light. That also is an indicator, a potential indicator of a higher lying baritone or a lower sitting, or even just a plain tenor in the first place. And very, very clean C sharp 5 here. C sharp D flat 5.
Believer. Pain, let the bullets fly, let them rain. My life, my love, my...
I forgot to mention the mini piano up here at the very top. This, I don't know what it's called. There's a specific word for it. If anyone knows about this, let me know in the comments what it's called. But some of these can be found in kitchens, so I believe that's why this was justified to be in the cover here. But it's solid, man. Solid choice.
Let the bullets fly, let them rain. My life, my love, my drive, it came from. Hey, you make me a believer. Third things.
This section is this section is really cool. Comes the knife clinks.
Third things.
So these knife clinks are in triplets here.
Send a prayer to the ones up above. All the hate.
And they're all different pitches too. That means he's pitched down some of them and he's pitched some of them down and pitched some of them up in post-production in order to achieve that. So it looks like he just hit it a couple of times and then pitched some of them up and some of them down and left some of them as is, which is also genius.
That you've heard has turned your spirit to a dove. Oh, ooh, your spirit up above. Oh, ooh. the crowd, living my brain up in the cloud.
I hear some edited overtones in here. Hello.
I was choking in the crowd, living my brain up in the cloud, falling like ashes to the ground, hoping my feelings they would drown.
I actually don't know that those are overtones. We can fact check that, but this is a really cool 3-part harmony, very similar to the original, but it's still Chase's cover. He made it his own with the timbre in his voice, the raspiness added to this. Never mind the fact that this whole entire cover was made from things you can find in a kitchen.
But they never did ever live, ebbing and flowing, inhibited, limited, till it broke open and rained down. It rained down like.
And then what I was talking about a second ago before I got sidetracked was the vocal effect in the background. It almost sounds weird for lack of better terms.
Hoping my feelings they would drown, but they never did ever live, ebbing and.
It's hard to describe. I forgot what it's called. Oh, it's a phaser. It's a phaser. That's what it's called. He's got a phaser going on in the background. And it's subtle, but it's a nice little effect to add with the 3-part harmony.
Flowing, inhibited, limited, till it broke open and rained down. It rained down like.
That was a nice little riff there, Chase.
Limited till it broke open and rained down. It rained down.
Rain. Nice.
Like.
You know what? Yeah. Listen to the way he says, like, right here.
Till it broke open and rained down. It rained down like.
Like. His timbre is very light throughout this entire song, but even more so on that right there. Just listening to him rasp belt on the C sharp D flat 5 tells me he's a tenor.
Hey, you make me a believer.
It's just genius, man. And this section is really cool for the lack of things going on when you had so much going on earlier. Genius. Genius, Chase.
Of the fire and the flames, you're the face of the future.
Musical contrast.
In my veins, oh, ooh, the blood in my veins, oh, ooh. But they never did ever lived, ebbing and flowing, inhibited, limited, till it broke open and rained down.
And the microwave buzzing is used for bass here too, but it's not actually. The pitch is changed, but it's not pitch bending like the other one per se. So it's not. It's not like a pitch. It's not like a bass drop. It's used to create the bass effect in here.
But they never did ever lived, ebbing and flowing, inhibited, limited, till it broke open and rained down. It rained down like.
So he didn't actually sing the bass for this, and he instead just used a microwave, and it's just genius the way that that's done. That was awesome. There's a bit of silence with the exception of the gas lighting or the igniter for the gas stove. That was freaking perfect. Mint.
And it rained down. It rained down like.
And the best part about that was that it was in time with the music. That was in time with the music. Listen to how satisfying this is. Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't skip to it.
Did ever lived, ebbing and flowing, inhibited, limited, till it broke open and rained down. It rained down like.
Do you hear how in time that is? That was intentional.
It rained down like.
That's just delicious. Ear candy for days, and I'm sitting here all giddy because that little touch right there. I forgot to call out the teapot here. In order to get that kind of sound out of a teapot, you also have to bend the pitch to match the key of the song that you're in, because you're going to have to do that with all these things because they're not musical instruments. But he bends the pitch in this and tunes it so that way it matches the key of the song that they're in, gives it something else to be happening in the musical contrast. It's awesome.
Hey, break me down and build me up, believer, believer. Train, let the bullets fly, let them rain. My life, my love, my drive, it came from. Hey,
There's the stove igniter
you
again.
you make me a believer, believer.
Guys, this is genius. Like, this is
Hey,
such
thank you
a
so much for watching. It was a really fun one to make, so I hope you liked it. And if you did, please tweet it at Imagine Dragons or share it on their Facebook page. I would love for those guys to see it. I'm a huge fan. Also, I'm going to be liking and responding to every single Facebook share that this video gets that also tags my music page. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. And as always, a huge thank you goes out to my supporters on patreon.com. If you want to be part of the special group that makes all of my videos possible, please consider signing up by visiting my Patreon link down in the description. A special thank you goes out to the following patrons: Kelly Gibson, Christian Lair, Janine Rice, Randy Herbertson, Gabriel Gargari, Debbie Moran, Matt and Misty, Kate, Claire D'Onofrio, Nikki Beckert, Ivy Pham, Lacey Piotrowski, Lindsay Krell, Shane Swore, Angela Ognev, Brian Sands, Ginny, Justine Liebeck, Terry Baxter, Kathy Kenbeek, Melanie Rogan, Darren Dixon, Lisa Morgan, Kirsten Lepatka, Simon Radford, and Misty Smith. As always, there's more videos on the way. See you all soon.
fantastic, Chase. You get a shout out from me. You did a fantastic job, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And also, Chase, if you do get around to seeing this video, I'm hoping that I can get you on an episode of the Vocast on my channel sometime. Let's make it happen, because I like your music, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that would like to know a lot more about you. Guys, this has been Ethan Drew on my series, The Vocast. And I appreciate you stopping by, watching, and I hope and pray that you enjoyed what you saw today. And if you did, I would appreciate if you would throw me a thumbs up, drop some comments on the video, even if it's just a smiley face. It helps that the video get to the algorithm and helps you guys to see my videos more often. And I've recently done some research, and a lot of my views come from people that are not subscribed to the channel. I would appreciate it if you would throw me a subscription if you were enjoying the content. And if you're enjoying the content so much that you want to take your contribution to the channel to another level past subscriptions, I have a Patreon where you can support me as little as $3 a month or as much as $10 a month. I plan to open up a $20 a month plan at some point for those that want to do that. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. This has been Ethan Drew. I love you. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.